Okay, a lot of people have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, simply getting enough sleep. It's likely something a lot of you have experienced at one time.
A lot of others. Oh, okay.
Other folks.
Yeah, okay, other folks. But sleep problems, as unfortunately, have only grown worse over this pandemic. According to a study that was published in the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, there were more than 2.7 million Google searches for insomnia in the United States during the first 5 months of 2020, and that's an increase of 58% over the same duration in the previous 3 years. And so, yes, there's now a new name for it, coronasomnia.
Did we say that right?
Did I say that right? Sounded good to me.
All right, great. All right, so we're going to look into this a little more now. Get into this topic. We got, of course, Dr. Ashton here, our chief medical correspondent, but also another member of the ABC News family and a friend of ours here. Now, the author behind the brand new book, The Sleep Fix, Diane Macedo, is here with us. How are you doing? You look well rested.
Thank you. Do I?
Even with
Yeah.
a two-month-old at home.
Thing. Yeah, the irony of releasing a sleep book when you have a newborn at home is not, it's not the best time to be talking about rest and sleep, but we're doing great. I can't complain.
That's incredible. You did, however, struggle with sleep for years, and it's the reason why you wrote the book.
Absolutely, yeah. So literally for years, I had a lot of trouble sleeping. And for the longest time, I just sort of thought, well, this is just how I am. I just have to live with this. And eventually it just got so bad I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I started trying all the typical sleep tips I read in all these articles. That didn't work. I started reading popular sleep books. That actually made me worse. I started taking Ambien at my doctor's recommendation. Eventually that stopped working. And that was kind of the light bulb moment when I said, okay, I cannot go down this path. I need to figure this out for real. And so I got screened for sleep apnea. I ruled that out. And then I actually started reading sleep textbooks and books about sleep written by clinicians who treat people with sleep problems. And that's where I found my answers. And in 3 weeks, I was sleeping so much better, even on the overnight shift. But even though I was better, it piqued something in me. I was so curious about this that I just went down this rabbit hole. I started interviewing experts from all across sleep science about all different sleep issues and kind of put it together like a big puzzle, and that's what the Sleep Fix is.
Let's talk about sleep deprivation, Dr. Jen, and what it does to you physically, mentally.
Well, I mean, first of all, Diane and I have spoken about this for so long, and I'm so thrilled that you have written this because it is so needed. I often will say that sleep has a PR problem in this country. We look at it like a luxury and is, in fact, a medical necessity on par with how we eat and how we move in terms of affecting our health or disease state. And there is abundant medical and scientific data that if you get too much or too little sleep, that it absolutely can affect us. And particularly with too little, it can affect our brain hormones, metabolism, cortisol levels. There have been conclusive studies that link people who work the graveyard shift in the middle of the night with certain types of cancers, autoimmune problems, diabetes, obesity. The list keeps going on and on. And so this is so needed, Diane. I as a doctor, I cannot emphasize the importance of sleep enough.
And Diane, are these two different issues, falling asleep and staying asleep?
They often are linked to the same thing, which is arousal. And essentially, it's your fight or flight response. A lot of thinking and worrying will keep you awake. But I think the interesting part when it comes to people who say, oh, I fall asleep fine, I just can't stay asleep, and they kind of separate those two things. If you're someone who wakes up a lot, first of all, get screened for sleep apnea. There are also tips in the book for how to consolidate your sleep if your sleep is kind of fragmented. But I think it's really helpful to know that nobody actually sleeps through the night. We all, at the end of a sleep cycle, we wake up briefly, we scan the room, don't see any threats, everything looks the same, you fall right back asleep. And it happens so quickly you don't realize it. But if you have learned to fear wakefulness, if you're so worried about, oh no, I hope I don't wake up tonight, wakefulness becomes the threat. So when you wake up to do that room scan, all of a sudden, instead of, oh no, a bear, right, if you saw that, you're saying, oh no, I'm awake. And the reaction's the same. Your fight or flight response kicks in, and now you can't fall back asleep. So I love the tip to just enjoy your awake time. If at any point you are awake in bed long enough to feel frustrated, get out of bed, do something enjoyable and relaxing, and go back when you feel more calm and sleepy. And the enjoyable part is key because people often say do something boring. But boring, reading a manual, for example, that can breed frustration. So even if it works in the moment, now you have something else to fear. I better sleep tonight or I'm going to have to read that darn manual again. So enjoyable and relaxing, I think, is the key. And if you continue to do that, even if you have one bad night, or 2 bad nights or a string of them, if you keep waking up at the same time every day and getting out of bed when you feel frustrated, your sleep drive will start to rise. And that will help you eventually to fall asleep and stay asleep.
All great tips. Diane Macedo, thank you so much for joining us today. You can pick up the copy of The Sleep Fix. It is out today. It's an amazing book. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I so appreciate it.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.